Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3 Minute Reviews, where I review the latest movies, shows, and video games. Today I'm going to talk about The Outlast Trials, the newest installment in the Outlast series by Red Barrels. The Outlast Trials is a cooperative survival horror game set in the Cold War era, where you and up to 3 friends are subjected to a series of brutal experiments by the Murkoff Corporation. You have to escape from various locations filled with twisted enemies, puzzles, and traps, while using your night vision camera and other gadgets to survive. Let's find out if The Outlast Trials is worth your time and money. The first thing I want to say is that The Outlast Trials is not a direct sequel to Outlast 2, but rather a spin-off that takes place in the same universe. You don't need to play the previous games to understand the story, but there are some references and Easter eggs for the fans. The story is told through cutscenes, documents, and audio logs that you can find throughout the game. The plot is not very deep or original, but it serves as a decent backdrop for the gameplay. The co-op mode is where the game shines, as it adds a lot of tension, teamwork, and replay value to the experience. You can communicate with your teammates using voice chat or gestures, and you can also share items and resources with them. You can also customize your character's appearance and abilities, and unlock new gadgets and upgrades as you progress. The gameplay of the Outlast Trials is similar to the previous Outlast games, but with some new twists and features. You still have to sneak, run, hide, and use your camera to see in the dark, but you also have to deal with more varied and challenging enemies, puzzles, and environments. The game has 10 levels, each with a different theme and setting, such as a police station, a carnival, a hospital, and more. The levels are large and non-linear, with multiple paths and secrets to explore. The game also has a dynamic difficulty system, which adjusts the number and behavior of the enemies based on your performance and preferences. The game can be very hard and unforgiving, especially on the higher difficulty settings, but it can also be very rewarding and satisfying when you manage to overcome the odds. The graphics and sound of the Outlast Trials are top-notch and create a very immersive and atmospheric horror experience. The game uses the Unreal Engine 4, and it looks stunning with realistic lighting, shadows, and textures. The game also runs smoothly, with no major bugs or glitches that I encountered. The sound design is also excellent, with creepy music, sound effects, and voice acting. The game does a great job of creating a sense of dread and fear, and making you feel like you are in a nightmare. The game also has some very gory and disturbing scenes, so be warned if you are squeamish or easily offended. The Outlast Trials is not a perfect game, however, and it has some flaws and drawbacks that I want to mention. The first one is that the game is relatively short, and can be completed in about 6 to 8 hours, depending on your skill and playstyle. The game does have some replay value thanks to the co-op mode, the difficulty settings, and the collectibles, but it still feels like it could have been longer and more fleshed out. The second one is that the game can be very frustrating and repetitive at times, especially when you die a lot or get stuck on a puzzle or a chase sequence. The game can also be very unfair and cheap, with some enemies that can kill you instantly or spot you from across the map. The game can also be very annoying and stressful, with some sections that require a lot of trial and error, patience, and luck. So, in conclusion, The Outlast Trials is a solid and fun co-op horror game that offers a lot of thrills, chills, and spills. It has great graphics and sound, a decent story, and a unique and engaging gameplay. It also has some flaws and drawbacks, such as the short length, the high difficulty, and the technical issues, but they don't ruin the overall experience. If you are a fan of the Outlast series or horror games in general, you should definitely check out The Outlast Trials. It's not the best horror game ever, but it's a good one. I give it a score of 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.